Hello, everyone. I am really honored to be able to address St. Paul's pupils once again during Career Week. I've had the chance before, and I'm really glad to be back, even if it is through a recorded video such as this one. So I would like to start off by thanking Professor Helena for the invitation. I am going to share some content with you. So let me put some slides in the screen and then we can start. Okay, let's go. First of all, let me explain. This speech is called YOUniverse for a few reasons. The main one is to bring you guys some ideas that might be useful when thinking about your own careers. We need to look into the future and try to understand what we can do right now if we are to increase our chances of success. Also, I need to make something very clear. I am a fierce supporter of high quality education, such as the one that you are receiving at St. Paul's. The importance of a solid academic background will not diminish anytime soon. That being said, let me present you with two initial concepts. Maybe you've heard of them. They are future ready and future proof. Something like being prepared to face and overcome new challenges. Those two concepts are connected to the ability to find happiness, to generate self-fulfillment, and discover and employ our purpose in every aspect of our lives. I am assuming that having a happy, fulfilling, and purposeful career is of interest to everyone. But if we want those things to happen, we maybe are going to have to take a few chances and change a few things from now on. And that's because we need to we need to embody a brand new mindset or a brand new mentality. And that's because of the many changes that have happened in the world, especially in the past 2 or 3 years. By the way, I didn't tell you guys anything about myself. My name is Vitor Mirshavka Jr. And the conclusion that I'm going to draw here, they come from the many different professional activities that I have right now. Let me just tell you very briefly what I do at this moment. I have my own corporate training company by the name of Pense Melhor, focused on developing leadership, and I have big clients in my portfolio. I also work in partnership with a Brazilian company that specializes on innovation called Fábrica de Criatividade. Fábrica de Criatividade also has many big clients in their portfolio. I am still a partner with an American consulting company focused on innovation called New and Improved. At this moment, I teach graduate classes at USP FIA for business courses. I am also a global member of the Singularity University community. I am also a global member of the TED community, the international TED community. And these days, I amuse myself by producing a podcast by the name of Reinvente-se. So everything I'm going to tell you is based on my interactions with the professional world in many different arenas, with my companies, the companies that I work for, and also with the classes that I teach and the communities that I'm part of, okay? I need to start by showing you guys a video that I just got from TikTok. So let's watch the video before, and I'm going to draw a few conclusions from it, okay?
As far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to play basketball. It all started with a ball and a dream. Millions of followers later, the game has changed. New heights, new opportunities, new money. Cross is my creation. It's a social token that represents my love of the game, my story, my community, and my venture into the blockchain space. Powered by Roll on Ethereum, we're here to take things to the next level and bring crypto to the masses in our own way. We're out here, whether you're a YouTuber, hooper, or just someone with the drive to do big things. The name of the game isn't about which platform to use anymore. It's about becoming the platform itself. Cross.
So why did I choose this specific example? To begin with, I love basketball. I used to play at a professional level many years ago. But the main reason is that this is an example of someone managing his career according to new trends. This player's name is Grayson Boucher, aka The Professor. I have known him for quite some time. I have been keeping track of his career for quite some time. And what we need to do is to hack the principles behind what he is doing. Maybe we can apply those principles in our own lives. Maybe you guys can apply those principles in your own lives. And to make it easier, here is the transcript of what he said. Start noticing that he speaks of how things have changed. And because of that, there are many new opportunities. Consider that he started off as a basketball player and now he is a digital influencer. Well, there are quite a few things going on with the professor's career, and they in some ways relate to this screen right now. You remember that I started off with YOUniverse, and now I am dividing that YOUniverse approach into three main things. Into the upgrade you aspect of the YOUniverse, which has to do with technology, with the startup you aspect of the YOUniverse, which has to do with innovation, and with the university aspect of my approach, which has to do with education. So let's try to correlate these three things here with the example of the video that I have shown you guys. First of all, I am pretty sure that you know of many amazing and incredible technologies that are available to us right now. Of course, the internet, but much beyond that. We have access these days to automation. We have access these days to natural language processing. We have access to facial recognition. We have access to, and that's the buzzword of the moment, to the metaverse, to artificial intelligence. We have access, and we're going to have access to 5G, pretty soon to quantum computing. And all of those technologies, if you believe it or not, most of them actually are available to us in our smartphones. So we have them in our pockets, especially after the pandemic. Technology adoption was really, really fast. And if we think of it and reflect about it, we could even call ourselves cyborgs, because a cyborg is, for instance, a human whose natural capabilities were enhanced by technological extensions. This guy is the cyborg from DC Comics. Maybe we could call ourselves cyborgs, but that's just to emphasize the importance of technology. Let's go back to the professor, guys. He's talking about new technologies that he is using to manage his career. For instance, social tokens, specially designed to occupy the blockchain space. I don't know how much you guys understand about blockchain, but I'm really sure that you should take a look into it, because he's trying to get paid as a digital influencer using raw and Ethereum cryptocurrencies, and he's talking about bringing crypto to the masses. I am not advocating that cryptocurrency is the best solution right now, but I am pointing out some technological solutions that the professor is using to manage his career, and especially the fact that he's using a platform, a technological solution, by the way, TikTok, to show off his talents, to show off what he does, and to communicate to the world. So the conclusion is this: because so many new technologies are available, we have to upgrade yourselves. That's the reason for the upgrade you, to make the better use of all of those technologies we can, specifically concentrating ourselves in doing things that are important and delegating to technology things that can be done automatically. So that's the first aspect of the YOUniverse, and that's called upgrade you. Let's move on to the next aspect, which is the startup you part of this approach. I don't know if you guys remember, because you might have seen it, the definition of what is a startup. But the startup, the term refers to a company in its first stages of operations. Startups are founded by one or more entrepreneurs who want to develop products and services for which they believe there is demand. So startups deal with demands, new demands, unconscious demands, undiscovered demands, and startups deal with innovation. And popular startups these days are called unicorns. Unicorns are those startups whose market valuation has surpassed $1 billion. They are valued in excess of $1 billion. Let me show you this screen, and tell you guys what it has to do with the professor. First of all, this is the list, the ranking of the most valuable startups in the world right now. The first one is called ByteDance. It's worth $140 billion. The owners of ByteDance are some investment funds, most of them Asian. And ByteDance is the owner of TikTok. So the professor is using TikTok, which is a startup, and TikTok is owned by the most valuable startup these days in the world, ByteDance. By the way, in this ranking, Canva is one of the most valuable startups in the world. All the graphics and slides that I'm using here were designed in the Canva platform. So what is the relation between the professor and startups? There are two main things. First of all, the professor is creating his path. Startups create new solutions. Startups are innovative. So Cross, his own platform, was his own creation. So he's doing something that startups do, which is to add value to the market by creating something new. Secondly, he is using a platform which is a startup, which is TikTok, to exponentially grow his reach, to be able to reach more and more people. And that's also connected to the first example that I gave you guys, which is the upgrade view. So this is the startup view. He is becoming the platform himself. So what he's doing here is using the principles, the management principles of startups, and using the services that startup provides to become the owner of his own career, because he has something different, and his talent, he's using this something different to create his own approach to his career. And now we need to move to the third aspect of the YOUniverse approach. There are so many people researching how the job market will look in the future. So many people trying to answer the question, what will be the jobs of the future? But I really like this affirmation by Yuval Noah Harari, the historian, the Israeli historian that's become so popular these days because of his best-selling books. And he says, no one really knows how the job market in 2040 will be, because things are changing so fast that we can't really predict what's going to happen in 10, 20, or 30 years. And that's why, instead of thinking of the jobs of the future, we are better off developing what researchers call the future skills, which are the skills that we need to have in order to maintain ourselves relevant, and to find work, and to find projects, and to be able to get paid. And as I told you before at the beginning, to be able to have a happy career, to self-fulfill, and to have purpose in what we do. And to that regard, one of the main sources that I use, the best references, is the World Economic Forum report of 2020. And on that report, the researchers, they talk about the top 10 skills for 2025. I'm going to leave the list for you guys here. And those skills are things like analytical thinking and innovation, complex problem solving, creativity, originality, or even leadership, social influence, technology use, monitoring, control. The fact is that if I could give you any piece of advice, the most important advice for this short speech, it would be this. Apart from the future skills, try to develop what I call essential skills. And those are things that only humans can perform. We have to separate ourselves and to be different from what machines and systems can do for us. So for instance, creativity at this point is still an essential human skill. So if you are going to get ready for the future, future ready, future proof, you should be worried about developing essential skills, those skills that systems and computers cannot perform for us. And that has to do with the mindset or the mentality of being a lifelong learner. That's why university has to do with education. You need to think of yourself as being a lifelong learner. By the way, it's very important to remember that anything that we want to learn these days, we can learn by ourselves if we access the internet and we search for sources such as online courses, mentoring, formal courses, training programs. So the learning ecosystem these days, even social media, we get to learn anything that we want, mainly for free, if we just put ourselves to it. I'm coming close to the end of my presentation here, and it's really important to remember one thing. I'm even going to take myself off the screen here. I really love this approach by Simon Sinek, one of the most influential thinkers these days when it comes to leadership. And he says that if we want to move forward in our careers, if we want to be successful or even to feel happy, we need to think about the golden circle. And the golden circle starts with the question, why? Why do you do what you do? What is your purpose? And those answers have to do with your beliefs. Then the next question is how do you do what you do? What's the process you use to deliver your results? And the third question is what do you do? So all of these things are connected, of course, to the professor example. Let's just remember the transcript that I've shown you guys before. The first part of the transcript is, as far back as I can remember, I've always wanted to play basketball. It all started with a ball and a dream. And let me go back here. Why? Why do you do what you do? What are your beliefs? And then he talks about his love of the game, his story, his community, his venture into the blockchain space. And specifically, he says he's someone with a drive to do big things. So all of these things are connected to the golden circle. And those things lead me to tell you guys that we should start always. We should maintain always the focus of our careers, and we should start and maintain the focus on our identity, our talents, our passion, and of course, our purpose. So then we come to our final question, because I understand that maybe most of you guys don't want to follow the same career path as the professor. And that's obvious because you're not an athlete, for instance, or you don't want to be a digital influencer. But the question is, do these principles apply to any career? Say, if you want to be an engineer or a doctor, an architect, an entrepreneur, if you want to be a musician, it doesn't matter. The question is, do the principles apply to any career? And I would say, yes, they do, because in any field, you need to be technologically updated, and that's the upgrade you. You need to be creative, innovative, and different, and that's the startup you. And you need to be a lifelong learner, and that's the university. Always being able to go back to your core motivation, remembering the golden circle, the why you do things, and that has to do with your identity, your talents, your passion, and your purpose. I really do like when Yuval Harari says that our identity is a story that we are constantly editing. We can change it at any given point from now on, especially because the world is changing so fast. But the phrase I love the most is this. I'm going to leave you guys with this. The best way to predict the future is to create it. This is still valid and even more important from now on. Here are my contacts. Maybe you want to follow me on Instagram or on LinkedIn. Maybe you want to send me an email with questions at your disposal. I am so grateful for this opportunity to be able to address you guys, and I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much.